You know what it means when I post an update video on Tuesday. I was too lazy and didn't have the time to shoot and record a regular review last week because it was Christmas week. And I work retail. Need I say more? So yeah, here's everything I picked up or I was given in this lovely December, my favorite season of all. Sarcasm. Anyways, luckily for me, I have a wonderful family who still spoils the shit out of me. So here's a kind of, a big update, but compared to ones I've had in the past, this is almost reasonable. So firstly, and I say that, and my first thing I'm gonna pull up is, sorry, it's the first time I'm doing this with this microphone, just because my lav kind of sounds like shit. So it's the ShotScope Collection. Now probably everyone and their mother has already shown this, but it is a lovely collection of I think 14 films or 12 films and 2 bonus discs, and it's more Shaw Brothers productions, and it's quite a lovely box set. Now I have the first one, and I really wanted the second one, especially for Boxer's Omen, and of course the multiple 36 Chamber of Shaolin films, which the original I fucking love. It's one of my favorite martial arts film of all time probably, and it's one of the greatest ever. But yeah, I need to watch more films from the first volume. I've only, I think, seen 1 or 2, because I'm terrible. And now I have this one, which is 12 more films, so I won't have a choice. I think I'll have to do like a 24-hour marathon of kung fu flicks, or I have to dedicate an entire week to watch kung fu flicks, but eventually I'll get to those. The next ones I just picked up because I thought there was a Boxing Day sale on them, but there wasn't really. So I went out of my house, which is already pretty impressive, to buy these 3. It ended up costing me about the same that it would have been on Amazon.ca, but at least I gave my money to a Canadian company instead. That is Sunrise. So speaking of like companies, Kino Lorber, which I think are highly underrated. I think it's mostly because they release a lot of stuff in a lot of different genres, so they're not like Vinegar Syndrome. And yeah, they started doing these little slipcovers, and to me they're pretty cool. Plus, they're affordable, which is very cool, especially if you compare them to Severin or Vinegar Syndrome, which are more on the high expensive end. Kino still pretty reasonable. They do these slipcovers. The first one, this is just clearly a Exorcist ripoff, but Italian, which I love my Italian cheese. So an Exorcist ripoff made by Alberto Di Martino. Sounds pretty fucking cool. From 1974. And anytime I see Studio Canal in the back, that means I'm not gonna review it on the channel, because they fucking love to copyright claim videos. Those assholes. Talk about that to my buddy Paul from Grindhouse Funhouse, who had his Cannibal Apocalypse video claimed, I think. Fuck Studio Canal. I had my Frontière video also claimed by them. So fuck them in the ass. And now this is one I add on like a really cheap, like bottom shelf, great market DVD. I never really watched it, just cause those DVDs, the quality, like most of them are just VHS rips, and I prefer I either prefer a high quality DVD like the Severin DVDs that just are cheaper in Canada, or a Blu-ray. So I can't wait to watch this. This is like a 70s exploitation classic. It stars Linda Day George from, you might know her more as the Pieces girl that screams, "Bastard! Bastard!" But yeah, fucking, I love her, and yeah. I don't know, I haven't seen really any of the ones I'll show. Now, this one I was pretty excited to find. I'm not a big sci-fi guy, but I'm a big Mario Bava fan, so this is an early, not really early in Mario Bava's standard, but this is a sci-fi horror film made by the wonderful Mario Bava. And I think this was released by Scream Factory prior to this, but I like the slipcover, and I'm not the biggest sci-fi fan, as you guys know, but if it's Mario Bava and it says it has like a gothic atmosphere, I'm down. It's a vampire film from Mario Bava with space things in it. By the way, I apologize for the focus. My camera's autofocus isn't great, but at least the rest of the quality is, so I'll be out of focus and in focus a lot in this video. So yeah, Planet of the Vampire. Bonus features, nothing really amazing. That's the issue with Kino, they're bare bones, but the transfers are always good, and they're not super expensive. Speaking of super expensive, I can't believe my parents bought me a film called LA AIDS Japper. Now this is my first release from Visual Vengeance that are owned by Wild Eye. Of course they put out the Necrophiles, which I've watched illegally, and that was an amazing film. I'll probably get the Blu-ray. Visual Vengeance also put out Bloody Muscle, the Japanese Evil Dead. I have a cheap DVD copy of that. I just wanted to watch it, see if I loved it, and I did, so I'll probably get the Blu-ray eventually. They're expensive. And yes, my cat did chew a little on it because she tried to open my Christmas presents for me, which is appreciated, but now when she uses her teeth, she's sleeping right there, and I'm just like, my Blu-rays. It's okay, I don't plan on selling any of these. But yeah, my first experience with Visual Vengeance, the alternative cover, and there's stickers, there's a booklet. Like, I'm really impressed by the presentation of these, of this. It's kind of like a newer company, well, newer sub-label. And from what I can see, they do pretty good shit. I'll probably take a few of the stickers that are on there and put them on my laptop, so more people at university can judge me. My laptop is like John Doe's sticker, Cinema Underbelly sticker, Vinegar Syndrome sticker, and like another one that says like that has like a skull with a knife in it. What can I say? I like my horror. Alright, now Synapse releases, because they somehow are now available in Canada for really cheap. For a while they were impossible to find, but now they're available and they're not super expensive. Satan's Little Helper. Now I don't think I own any of Jeff Lieberman's other films. I've seen him at a convention at Horrorama in Toronto the first year I went there. I wasn't really familiar. No, I think I have Squirm. Yeah, I have Squirm, which I think he did, and I fucking love Squirm. But when I went to the convention, I hadn't seen Squirm yet. So yeah, I know there's also a slasher that he's pretty well known for. Somebody in the comments will probably tell me what it is. But yeah, I like Squirm, so this is from 2004, so a newer film. I'm really curious to see what this is about. Looks pretty cool. And this year is really the year of the Bigfoot, I feel like, because I bought 3 now films about the Bigfoot. So I have Shriek of the Mutilated, I have Night of the Demons, and now I have Creature from Black Lake. I think I'm only missing Legend of Boggy Creek, which this was obviously inspired by. This is from the 70s. I love myself some 70s exploitation films, especially the Hicksploitation horror kind of films, you know, the Town That Dreaded Sundown, the Shriek of the Mutilated, of course. So anything from the 70s with Bigfoot, including The Geek, the porno with Bigfoot, which I really have to review because that movie is fascinating. It's horrible, but it's fascinating. So yeah, Creature from Black Lake. Now, I talked about this film earlier, talked about Paul from Grindhouse Funhouse, my good friend. Hi, Paul. And he reviewed this film, and ever since he reviewed the film, I've been wanting to get it, and now I finally have it. Cannibal Apocalypse, starring John motherfucking Saxon, and of course what's his name? He has a long ass Italian name. Radici, I think. Why is it not on the black back? Anyways, it's directed by Antonio Margaretti, which I don't think I own any of his other films. And this is more like a film about Vietnam and its effect on the veterans than it is really about cannibals. I think cannibals signify more like zombies in this case. Anyways, pretty excited because not only as Paul gave it a incredibly positive review, but the guys from the 22 Shots of Moods and Horror podcast also talked about him in one of their Italian months. I think it was this year. And they really like it. So yeah, this, and I always get this confused with Cannibal Man. I'm pretty sure this was also a Video Nasties, because most of the films with cannibal in the titles were Video Nasties. I'm not sure, somebody will let me know. Now, 2022 was a good year for horror. We had X, which is still probably my favorite film from this year. We had Terrifier 2, which is kind of a mixed bag in the community. We had Christmas Bloody Christmas, which Urshel is gonna tell me that it fucking sucked and I'm an idiot, but I really liked it. So I think 2022 was a good year for, more indie horror, and one of the titles that I liked was, of course, Pearl, starring Mia Goth. And now, as a fan of Ty West since the Innkeeper, House of the Devil, and what's that shitty Eli Roth film, Cabin Fever, 2 Days. I've been a big fan. I even really liked The Sacrament, which I need to buy. So to me, this year was the year of the Ty West, and I couldn't be happier, because he deserves the attention he's getting from the mainstream audience, because he's one of the greatest horror directors that are alive right now and that are working right now. The Innkeepers is probably the best haunted paranormal film from the early 2010s, and I'd even say the 2000s as a whole. X is a great throwback to proto 70s slashers, and this is not really it's horror in its theme, but to me this is more of a very well done drama, period piece, very impressive costume designs. Of course, Mia Goth is a fucking, I think at this point she's like a legend of the horror cinema, and she's an icon. So I liked Pearl. I really liked Pearl. I prefer X. X will always remain at the top of this year. It's an amazing movie, and my camera won't focus. Focus, it's me. Look at me. I'm the captain now. Every time I buy a Franco movie now, I have to explain, yes, it's still coming out, that video about Just Franco. I keep buying films. I think I'll change from, I won't review every movie from him that I own. I have about 12 movies right now that I reviewed from the director, and I think I'll add maybe three or four more to make it a nice 15, and that'll be the video, just covering 15 Jess Franco films that are either important in his filmography or personal favorites, or just the ones that I watched when I was planning on reviewing all of them, and some of them weren't good. But this one, it's a lesbian vampire film from our man Jess Franco. It's Daughter of Dracula, which is from 1972, which was a good year for Franco. I think he made either 4 to 6 films that year, and it was his year, really, the 70s, when he was doing more of these psychosexual thrillers and less you know, these mixes of horror films and sexual sexploitation. You know, so this is like a female vampire film. So yeah, looks pretty good. Alternate safe footage, less sexually explicit, and an audio commentary with the man, the myth, the fucking legend, Tim Lucas. Anybody who's familiar with Jess Franco or Jean Rollin will know the name of Tim Lucas. He's one of the few people to give credit where credit is due to Jess Franco and Jean Rollin. Way before, you know, modern film nerds started to appreciate him. You know, he was like in mid 2000s, you know, when you had like 3 people in the public eye defending Jess Franco's filmography and Jean Rollin's filmography. He was one of them, the troopers, the OGs. Now with, you know, Severin putting out so much of their stuff, blah blah blah, Franco kind of has a renaissance right now where a lot of people that would have probably hated him 10 years ago are like, well, he's actually a pretty good filmmaker. Yeah, fuck you, where were you when he wasn't, when fucking Severin didn't suck his cock every 2 minutes? Speaking of cocksucking, I finally got my copy of Defilement of a Porcelain Doll, which honestly shipped pretty quickly. Usually John Doe's film, like, they ship quickly, but they take a while to get to Canada. And of course customs opens the fucking package. This one didn't, so I guess you did a good job on the artwork being censored enough. I reviewed this film. I really need to rewatch it. I think I was really tired the week I reviewed it, so I'll give it a rewatch recently. My opinion still stands that it's slightly too long, but, you know, hey, I might like it more on the second watch, so I'll give it a rewatch. It has bonus features, of course, making of, interviews. It has a music video, which is pretty interesting. And yeah, so if you haven't got your copy yet, they're still on sale. Go get them. Go get them. Go support the underground, especially John Doe. He's doing great stuff for the community, and he always has. Speaking of filmmakers that I love, Jean Rollin, which I'll also do a second video on Rollin's film. Focus, come on, it's the beautiful Brigitte Lahaie. Come on, fucking camera. Yeah, this camera is great, but it's a cinema camera, so the autofocus is kind of dog shit. So yeah, Night of the Hunted, starring the wonderful Brigitte Lahaie, and she doesn't want to focus, so I'll do it manually. I'll force. So, starring the wonderful Brigitte Lahaie and directed by the as wonderful Jean Rollin. This one is from 1970, and fun story, this was a gift from my brother, my actual brother. And when I was opening it, you know, my grandma comes around on the 25th, you know, she just stands there, you know, eat with us and talk with us and whatever. We opened the gifts, and I was opening the gift, and I saw the little special features thing, and I just laughed and read out loud 2 deleted sex scenes, and my grandmother was like, what type of movies are you watching? Like, and I was like, Grandma, if only you knew. I'm watching filth, Grandma. Now, this one is gonna please Urshel and the Sick on Cinema boys, because I've heard a lot about this director. He was interviewed by QVC, and then Sick on Cinema made an episode about him, and I think Urshel likes him because this specific director made a lot of shot on video films that might be questionable about their quality, but hey, that's what he likes. Truth or Dare by Tim Ritter, which is actually shot on film. He is known for his SOV film there, Tim Ritter, but this one was one of his first, and it's shot on film. And I've been curious about this. It's been on my wish list for a while, but recently, with all the attention given to Ritter, I was like, I'll have to, you know, pull the trigger. And I didn't even have to do it myself. Again, my wonderful parents got me this, And this was one of the first presents that I opened, and I was so happy. I'm like, oh yeah, this year they got me good. I think this is gonna be a lot of good shit. Oh, and finally, another SRS video thing, Night, the Final Cut, which is from 1999, and it's shot on mini DV, so the quality might be better than your typical 80s shot on video things. I don't know, I added a bunch of this line, the SRS home video kind of retro cover that they're doing, a lot of shot on video things from the late 90s, early 2000s. They're not super expensive. I mean, Canada, they're still like $20 Canadian, but that's reasonable for modern day times. 5 years ago, that would have been way too fucking expensive, but now it's reasonable, and you can get a few of them cheaper through like third-party sellers. But yeah, I want to collect more of this line. I already have a few there. I mean, I have I have Doors, 1 of 5 of the Def, from Chuck Connery, I think. So I'm starting to get more into this line, and yeah, and whoa, I have troubles. I shouldn't have done that. So yeah, so I'm just gonna put this back, not cutting anything because I'm too lazy to edit these. But yeah, so shot on video. Okay, yeah, that's also Transgression, which I think I got recently. So I've started to collect this line. So yeah, again, regular reviews will be coming back next week. I just was too busy with school and work last week, but next week I have a lot of free time. I'll continue editing that Jess Franco video. Yes, it's coming. I've started the editing process. I think I have 5 movies out of the like 11, 12 reviews I've already shot edited. They're way shorter reviews, because I don't want to go too much into detail. Also, it would make the editing process unbearably long. So they're like every movie I talk about for like 3 to 5 minutes. And so yeah, so that video is still coming. It'll probably be very special whenever it comes out. I'll probably just do like just a week. Podcast is coming up this week instead of next week, just because we already shot it and I'm pretty excited about it. It's the Sick on Cinema boys. We finally got them due to John's work being broken into. So he finally had a day off, so that was good. Last minute little podcast. We had a lot of fun. I got drunk, as I usually do, on Fridays and Saturdays and sometimes Thursdays. Shut the fuck up, I don't have a problem. Anyways, thank you so much for this incredible year. This is probably my last, non-podcast upload for the year. This year's been insane. The amount of support, subscribers, viewers that I've seen an incredible amount of growth. A lot of comments, a lot of DMs from you guys supporting the channel. Shout out to the usual suspects: Chris from Severed Cinema, Sick on Cinema Boys, my new boyfriend, Urshel Gillis. Yeah, his girlfriend thinks we're gay together, but we're not. Odd Art, that's her name on Instagram. I'm not sure if she wants me to use her real name. We're not. We're lovers. As the old Romans would say, ladies are for reproduction, boys are for fun. So yeah, other than that, I forget people. I always forget people. But, everybody from the Discord community, which, yay guys, I'm not on there often. I'm not sure if it'll last next year, but thank you for the support. Who else? The Quality Violent Cinema crew. You guys doing great. I don't really remember. Anyways, if you're part of the extreme community and or if you support this channel, thank you so much, and I hope next year will be as kick-ass as this one was, and see you guys next year.